Alright guys, welcome back. This is the Benchinator and you're watching Let's Play Xenogears. It has been a long time since I've done this playthrough, and I apologize for the long delay. If you've been watching my stream, you've noticed actually that I've been doing a lot of projects with my friend Mike on Final Fantasy VI. And in the process, I've actually learned to make better videos, believe it or not, up until this point. Oh, and by the way, we're going to be infiltrating the castle now. Remember in our last video, we're talking about how to get into Fatima Castle. And our basic idea is that Faye is going to be participating in a martial arts tournament. And some of his other friends, like Bart, are going to be sneaking in while that's going on. C-Dan's just going to kind of sit on the sidelines. But it's okay, he doesn't really need to do anything. He's awesome enough by himself. So anyway, like I've been saying, it's been a long time since I've done a video solo. But in the process, I've actually learned how to make much higher quality. If you've noticed in the last few videos, the audio quality has been a lot better. There's still some issues with the game audio kind of overshadowing the voices of myself and my friend Mike, but that's something that over time will be worked out. So that's a good thing. But if you've actually noticed in pretty much all my older videos, I don't do any level of cropping, and it's kind of entertaining. Entertaining in a sort of a kind of an aw shucksy way. So probably what's actually going to be happening is that there's going to be a few videos that I used to do that I'm going to remaster and kind of make them better, just by cropping out all the ugly black bars around the side, maybe enhancing the audio a little bit. So I'm looking forward to that, at least with the videos that I did with myself and my friend Code on Final Fantasy X. Some of the other ones I'm just pretty much going to keep by themselves, so. Anyway, so now they're basically just discussing the plan. And the idea is that while Faye is distracting the crowd with his awesome martial arts skills, that Bart will be able to sneak in. And so this is an interesting part of the game, where you see kind of this dual perspective going on. But what C10 is basically explaining is that the better you do in the tournament, the more you'll be able to get through the guards. Basically, the less guard patrols there will be. Now, when I recorded this video last time, I should mention that I already went through this whole thing, and it turns out that with the new software I'm using, I forgot to de-interlace. And if you know anything about video editing, it basically makes a bunch of ugly lines appear in your video, and I wasn't able to get rid of those. So I'm basically starting this whole thing from scratch again, which, you know, kind of sucks, but at the same time, these videos will be a lot better. So I just went through the dialogue twice. Hopefully you guys got a chance to read that. But of course, our friend Sitan Yuzuki is the master of planning, and so now with these guys, and we'll be able to check out the carnival games a little bit later when we come back to Great Aveh in the future. So that's fine. So right now you just want to go to the the arena, so to speak. That's up here. And I forgot exactly originally what we decided to call ourselves as far as participants go, but I believe it was Wandering Voxer because I thought that was kind of badass. It's kind of like Spartan from Gladiator. So let's see if we can get back here. Yeah, all right. Well, Faye, of course, should be able to go through. Hello. Yeah. These are all the soldiers that are probably betting on somebody. Yeah, it's always interesting to see what types of like empires and factions in games allow gambling and what don't. Because there's some, usually the evil empires are totally decadent. Like, they'll let people get drunk, they'll allow gambling. There's not a lot of prohibitions on on stuff that allows soldiers to basically get the best of the people they've taken over. So anyway, Sitan Uzuki, of course, is not going to be helping us out in the tournament, but that's okay. you don't mind. So, this is kind of a nice arena, and unfortunately you don't get to talk to the Gong guy, and you definitely can't get in there. That's Fatima Castle, that we're going to be seeing very, very soon. Here's the brackets. I didn't even notice that the first time, is that you have the brackets, and I'm probably somewhere over here. It's also all kinds of good stuff. So this is the tent where we're going to be talking to some of the participants. Again. You know, I haven't seen any bathrooms in this universe. I can only imagine where people do their business. And so, you would think that depending on how you answer this particular question that you're going to get some kind of shrieky response. But, just say not really, be a little bit, go out on a limb. Yeah. And she pretty much says, like, oh, well, you know, oh, how dare you say that? I want to prove you wrong if you say the other way. So, yes, I do. I know your name. Big Joe. Never actually heard of you, dude. But we'll pretend. Yeah, if you say no, let's see. Yeah, we got somebody cheering for me. We got Seizan Uzuki. He's the best character of the game, man. He's the smartest motherfucker in all of the 7 kingdoms. Even though this is not the Game of Thrones universe. Yeah, so let's see what happens if you say, I think so. Yeah, don't underestimate desert women. Secret of strength. Yeah, what happens if you say that nobody's cheering for me? Even though that's very much a lie. Well, alright. The truth is that we have a dear friend in the audience. And of course, Bart's going to be cheering for some proxy, but he's going to be busy doing his own thing, distracting the guards and whatnot. Who's this guy? Uh-huh. I'm not sure who these guys represent in the tournament, or if we fight them at all. That guy doesn't seem very communicative. And is that Dan? Holy crap. You can rotate the camera while you're talking to Dan. Oh, he's mad. Look, I'm sorry, dude. Lost control. Hit the wrong button, killed the village. That shit happens sometimes. There's no more Layhan. Now is not the time for pity revenge. Well, at least you'd like to think so. What's up, dude? Seems like you and that space boy. There's some translation issues in this game, but most of them are just grammatical. And who the hell is this guy? And with his sore laugh. Ooh, he knows our name. How mysterious. Whoa. Yeah, it really would be appropriate to have Faye voiced as Keanu Reeves. There was talk for a small amount of time in the early 2000s about whether or not this would be made into an anime. I like that nun. I like her style. She's like, this sounds like the dumbest plan ever. Do you really think it's gonna work? But let's assume it will. I think it's worth a try. Yeah, with C10 on your side, I think you're in really good shape for the most part. No guarantees, but it's always worth a try. All right. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, Mother Marguerite. Yeah, there's this entire, what is it? The town of Nissan. We're just gonna call it Nissan because I think it's fun to call it Nissan, naming it after a car. Teehee. Anyway, so it's basically this entire town made up of kind of like a nun-like sisterhood. It's some pretty cool stuff, actually. All right, so now we're gonna head over with Mr. Bart, as my mother would say, to open up the grate. And right now, as you might notice, they're not actually playing the music. That's kind of a, I'm not sure if that was a purposeful thing or if they just forgot to program it in because they knew that pretty soon we'd be going down into Sewerland. So, all right. Now, here's where things get interesting. So, Faye, every once in a while, is going to have to fight a battle. And by fighting a battle, you are going to be able to reduce the amount of guards that you see in Fatima Castle. And of course, here's Shekan. He's the appointed ruler of Ava right now. Kind of a usurper, kind of a douche. Not that smart. He was basically put into power by the Solaris Empire, the Geblar guys, because they're the ones with all the weapons and all the equipment and all the nasty stuff that makes. Now, they're basically masters of the universe right now. They're the Skyreich. 338th tournament means nothing special, nothing whatsoever. Ain't nothing special about 338. At least I can't think of anything special about that number. Oh man, that speech was so awesome. Nobody gives a speech like me. Believe me, believe me. Basically Donald Trump as a balding, mustached pseudo-monk. Oh, there's Ramses. That guy's never happy. Ever. I haven't got your time for your little tournaments. Your little competition. Yeah, your entertainment's kind of lame. You see, in Solaris, we got HD TVs. We got Wi-Fi, we got all the good shit. All you guys are doing are hacking to each other to death with clubs and fists and all that barbaric nonsense. It's like, well, it's like, look, man, we did all this. We got you a cake. We got drinks. We had a guest list. This is all for you, and now you're spoiling it. Oh, come on. You would have had this. You would have had this whole thing, even if Ava was on the brink of destruction. You would still hold this tournament. That's just human nature. Even when things are absolutely going to shit, they still have their little festivities. Even the martial kind. Even though it's probably going to take up good, able-bodied men from the front lines, you always want to have the tournament. And it is, of course, as I mentioned in previous videos, kind of an RPG trope. Is you always have basically a what is it? A martial arts tournament. All right. So the last time I recorded this, I actually lost this first battle, but I think that I managed to successfully. Oh, there's Faye. He's gonna win. He's gonna win. And the purple-haired chick's got the hots for him. So, good luck, Faye. So I actually lost this first battle because I forgot to get good equipment, but now that I've basically got like the the leather vest and the leather hat, I should be in much better shape. Because the first thing, okay, I guess maybe not the first thing he's gonna do is gonna do that. So that's pretty much his most powerful attack. There is this one that does a little bit more damage, where he says, I can't take it anymore. So in cases like that, all you have to do is just make sure not to let your HP get too low. That's kind of the trick. Yeah, so he is going to do this, and this is going to hurt, but if you restore your HP, like, just pretty much right after, then you're in good shape. Yeah, see, the first time I played this game, well, not the first time I played this game ever, but during my first recording, I should say, I forgot to put on up-to-date equipment, and that attack did about 110 damage, and I just got kind of cocky, and I didn't really heal myself, so that was bad. That was pretty humiliating, considering that was the first recording I did for this video in many, many months. So one thing you might consider doing, if you're not feeling like you're in a huge rush to beat this guy, is also every once in a while to do square X, because that's going to be your next death blow. Is the power of the square and the X. Oh yeah. It'll do the trick for sure. And now this guy's going to attack with this again. But you kind of get the idea. How did this guy get in this tournament though? He doesn't look exactly like he's super fit. Although actually, well, I mean he's got a beer gut, but at the same time, I mean he's pretty ripped. So those are some bulging muscles he's got. Just amusing. It's amusing seeing the sprites on screen, like outside of battle, and then seeing what they look like in battle, and they don't match up. They're usually like totally off. Like, you know, you'll have some guy that looks like some kind of, like, elven paper boy, and then he turns out to be a friggin' troll like this. It's ridiculous. You see this later on, too. Like, there's another part in the game where, basically, you have these three, acolytes, and, they kind of look like, you know, your prototypical, I guess, like, anime, like, henchmen. They're kind of just wearing, like, suits, and they have a goofy little hat. You know, they look like they're straight out of a James Bond movie. And then when you fight them, they basically are, like, these Medusa creatures. It's so incredibly strange. Okay, so we better keep healing, because this is taking a little longer than I expected. But, oh yeah, I should have done Iron Valor. Sorry about that, guys. There's a very helpful spell that I forgot to use called Iron Valor, which will definitely take some time off of this, because the Iron Valor will boost your attack by about 30%. It's fairly significant. We're going to see that in future battles just to make them easier. But there we go. Gonzalez is dead. Easy peasy lemon squeezy, right? Sweet. You're going to survival tent for our troubles. Awesome. Alright, so now the real part of the infiltration is going to begin. And so you always want to be... We got plenty of Omega Souls. I stocked up on those, so we should be okay after battle. Now remember that after each battle, this is the only chance you're going to have with Faye to restore yourself. So that's important to understand. So anyway, we've made it into the sewer system. Faye is officially in the tournament. He's knocked out his first opponent. How will this rescue, search and rescue operation go? Find out in the next episode of Let's Play Xenogears. This is the Benjinator, and I'll talk to you guys later.